oil in it. Gas will degrade a little faster with oil in it. So if you keep it outside, especially somewhere with heat, just know that that's even gonna exacerbate that even more. So keep in mind that if you ride these and you usually have them sitting for long periods in between riding, don't bother filling the tank to the top. And if you do and it sits for a long time, make sure you empty out and replace that fuel, because otherwise you're going to sit there thinking something's wrong with your bike and it's really just bad gas. uh, just like with people. So all right, that's high compression head, uh, CDH power. That's also CDH power. It's I will say that that's probably one of the things that I've put on this bike that I noticed the biggest improvement from. And I won't say in the way of top speed though, for sure. The top speed that it added, maybe 1 or 2 miles, but the pretty negligible. I mean, but where it came in the most as far as performance improvement is that, for one, I can run a lot farther and longer with this engine because it can cool off more efficiently. Two is that I get a lot more low end power, a lot more torque. So I find that I don't have to pedal as much when I go to start back up on the gas, from a dead stop. I'm not sitting there having to pedal, and then hit the gas. I can get a decent little bit of momentum, let's say like 6 pedal cranks, and then and then I can start hitting on the gas, and it's good after that. And it eats hills like a boss, man. This thing really can eat hills really good, as you probably can have seen in my other videos that I posted yesterday. Um, yeah, it can go up a pretty steep grade without coming in with much issue. Um, let's see, that's pretty much everything on this side of the bike. Uh, Mirrors. These ones are Mikau, might be pronounced differently. Not sure. Um, on this side of the bike, what we have is, excuse me as I lean over this seat here, spring action chain tensioner. This thing is really useful. Really helps you keep track of the tension without having to look down at it every 10 minutes to make sure that the chainstay hasn't migrated to where it's flapping around and all that. Uh, so yeah, it's been really useful, and probably I'm holding you guys upside down. Now I'm holding you upside down. There we go. All right, go easy on me. This is all new to me. The chainstay is, if you look there closely, I have a welder, and I used it just to put a tiny little tack right there on the bolt, keep that in place, and it's honestly worked wonders. Now, I have an idea for people that don't have a welder, and that's maybe the same method of using the quick weld putty. Mind you, this is after you know where the tension needs to be on this thing with your, setting. Use the quick weld to fill in the empty spaces. That way, in the end, whenever if you ever want to or need to take it out, you could just kind of, chip it out with a flathead and a mallet. Um, but it should be plenty enough to keep the bolt from migrating, or the wheel rather, from migrating up and down, um, which will save you a whole lot of trouble. Uh, aside from that, see. Oh, aside from that, I also used a self-tapping screw right there in the center, and it drills into the bar here, and that is to keep the chainstay, because with the vibrations it can have the potential to migrate inwards, and when that happens it'll go into your spokes, and it's not necessarily the type of catastrophic failure that's going to for sure bring some sort of injury, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen either. So you don't want to take your chances. Get the do the right setups for these. I prefer a 4 bolt setup. Some people prefer the 2. I prefer a 4. I think it's just more secure. What I did here, as you can see, is I replaced the original one with a longer bolt, and that way I can put a spacer here, and have my exhaust bolt right onto that. It's super convenient, and it was a kind of happy accident. Yeah, the exhaust is a popo or poo poo is how it's spelled when you look it up on Amazon, and it's got the expansion chamber that always slips my mind, that word. It's got the expansion chamber, which has also been very useful in adding some low end power. So this, in conjunction with the CDH power high compression head, has been probably the two most valuable um, improvements I've made to the engine that improve its functions. Aside from that, I would say that the velocity stack is close third. Um, and the sprocket is a 44 tooth sprocket. I like that for the type of riding I do, because it gives me, with the improvements I have on the engine, I have good low end power, enough to plenty travel